yo. 15 minutes moving away from the hour. Welcome back to our program. And it's now time for Policing with You. And this morning program is sponsored by National Bank.
Stop standing in long ATM lines to withdraw cash. Use your national debit or black cards to complete a wide variety of transactions at supermarkets, variety stores, gas stations, pharmacies, and more. Shop online at the most popular websites and stores for quality brands using your national debit or black cards. And take back your time to enjoy all the things that you love to do. Remember, instead of waiting in long ATM lines to withdraw cash, use your National Bank cards today.
National Bank, always here.
All right, welcome back to our program. And of course, I'm your moderator for this morning as usual. And one of our rotating hosts is here this morning, Inspector Alric Edwards. How are you doing this morning, sir?
Yes, good morning, GQ. I am fine, and good morning to those of you listening via radio and on the internet. I am Alric Edwards, Inspector of Police, and the host for today's program, Policing with You. GQ, this morning, I have the privilege to introduce one of the Crown Counsels in the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution, Mr. Valston Graham. She is no other than Miss Greatest Gordon. She comes on the heel of a week-long training course that I was privileged to be a part of. It was the result of a collaboration between the DPP's office and the Office of the Commissioner of Police. So please introduce yourself to the listening audience.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Greatest Gordon. I am a Crown Counsel in the Office of the DPP.
Thank you, Miss Gordon. This show we take its normal format. It's introduction, question, answer, and then we'll close. Straight into the question and answer segment. Tell us about the function of the DPP, the Director of Public Prosecution.
Well, first of all, the DPP's office prosecutes all criminal matters within St. Kitts and Nevis. We also review police case files. We also provide advice to the police, whether it be pre-charge advice or during the investigation stage as it relates to the legal requirements that are needed, which have to be met in order when evidence is to be collected.
Okay.
So who else your co-workers, who else work in the DPP's office?
We currently have 17 persons working with the DPP's office. Would you like me to name them?
Sure, if you have time. 17 is a lot.
Okay. We have the DPP, Mr. Valston Graham, myself, Greatest Gordon, Mr. Tishon Vasquez, Miss Lanine Blanchett, Mr. Vaughn Woodley, Miss Megan Nisbet. She is operating out of Nevis. She's a Crown Counsel who works in Nevis. We have 2 police prosecutors currently, Inspector Bergen and Sergeant Richards. We also have 6 police orderlies. We have 3 other admin staff.
Okay.
I won't bother to name everyone.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Can you tell us the word of each?
So the DPP and the Crown Counsel predominantly prosecute in the High Court. We also prosecute in the Magistrate Court when there are complex cases. The police prosecutors function out of the Magistrate Court. The police orderlies, they are responsible for preparing the summons, serving the summons, serving disclosure on accused persons. They are also stationed in court while court is in session to provide order and security.
What about you? How How long have you been in the office of the Director of Prosecution? And have you been a lawyer? How long have you been a lawyer?
I have been a lawyer for almost 10 years. November will make 10 years since I've been a lawyer. And also, and also, I have been there for that long in the DPP's office.
To help the people get a better appreciation of what you do as a prosecutor, explain what is involved in preparing for a trial.
The first thing that you are expected to do is to read your case file. You have to know what is within the file. The second thing that should be done is you check to see if the accused person has received disclosure, because that person would need to know the case that is being brought against them. After that is done, then we prepare the questions for each witness, and we prepare questions as well that we anticipate they will receive in cross-examination. We also prepare for whatever legal submissions that we anticipate. We prepare our closing speeches, our opening speeches, and then we actually call in the witnesses to brief them, because you shouldn't go to court unless you know what the witness is actually going to say. Yes.
So at least you guys are on the same page.
Yes.
And that doesn't varies from case to case, or is it the same from case to case?
It's the same case to case.
Okay.
During the course, I was a participant in the course, and we had a moot court, and I don't think you could ever be too prepared for any matter, as you will prepare for the matter, you will write your suggested questions, well, question that you figure will be pertinent for the matter, and then you will brief your witness, and then the witness come and say something totally different, and then the facilitator will tell you to piggyback, but then you have your script, so you change your script to the letter.
That happens a lot.
And then you get lost in the answers, because then you're not listening, you're prepping for the next question, but then your witness is giving his evidence, and then you kind of, you'll be a lot of, it's hard work. That's why before we started, sorry to cry, but Miss Gordon,
okay.
Miss Gordon told me, but asked me for ready to prosecute. I told her, well, I prefer to prosecute tribunal cases first to get an understanding, to get more familiar with it. Well, I'm a police, I understand certain things that relate to the court and the trial and tribunal proceedings and so, but
it's a different mindset.
It's a different mindset when you are the prosecutor versus a witness. So I need to go there first and understand and get comfortable, and then step up rather than just be thrown in the deep end of the sea and just tell me survive, because the only way to survive in that instance is to swim. I don't like to swim long distances.
You won't just be thrown in the deep end. Somebody will always be there to help you out.
But my question to you, though, and I'm guessing this was an exercise to help the officers get a bit more understanding as to the law and how it's being prosecuted on the other end. So at least when they're dealing with situations and cases, they'll have a better idea of how to either get the information that is needed to close a case. Am I reading things correctly?
Yes, that is correct.
So what have you learned from the experience? Can I jump in here?
I've done a lot of things. One of the stuff that I did told was that, when you are recruiting training school and you have moot court, they will emphasize leading question. You should not ask leading question. A leading question is a question that the answer is among the questions. So if I ask you, were you wearing a blue shirt? You're wearing a blue shirt, so you should not ask them. But then they also told you, they taught you on the course that you should not ask suggestive questions. I was like, huh? But then that's the reason for asking a question, because you suggest what you really want them to say, but you should not. So it gets a little more challenging, because most questions are, so to speak, suggestive. If you understand what I'm saying.
I understand what you're saying. In other words, from where I'm sitting, there are more than one reasons why I'm sitting here. but depends on the question that you ask me. I might give you the answer that you want to hear.
Right. And then they gave us an exercise on the course where one will ask a question, and then based on how you express on a certain pronoun or subject, then the question becomes different. Like if I say, for example, GQ sit there, GQ sit there, GQ sit there, GQ sits. So you push the stress on something that you really want to, the thing. So I will ask if you really sit, is GQ or something. So and it was a part of the thing. And it was interesting that the very same sentence, a number of ways you can use it, and it's totally different.
So,
Just by just
from what I'm gathering from him, Ms. Garden, is he saying or is he implying that as a prosecutor you have to be careful because you might make an innocent man guilty or a guilty man innocent? Is that what he's saying? Or am I reading it wrongly?
You are reading it wrongly.
Oh, okay. So break it down for me, please.
Well, there are different techniques in asking questions. And you do have to be careful how the question is asked because it can be interpreted in different ways. So what we are taught to, in examination in chief, we are taught to ask open-ended questions. For example, you use the what, why, where, who. You ask them to describe things so as not to ask leading questions, because when you're asking leading questions, then the answer comes out.
Right. So if you ask what, you just have to explain what is.
And then, depending on the answer that is given, you would have to piggyback on that question until you get the desired answer.
Okay. If it exists.
If it exists.
Okay. Over to you, Inspector.
Well, to piggyback on the question that you asked, you posed to Miss Garden, they spoke about ethics in prosecution. So it's not a conviction at all costs. So if you feel like a person is innocent, then and you could not the people not press based on that information, that evidence. So if we never convict a innocent man, so to speak.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You must be ethical
Right.
in your
Right.
daily doing.
Right. I guess that's why you laughed when I said that.
Yes. You see, and I find that is a misconception that persons have, that we in the DPP's office just try to get a conviction at all costs. And that is not what we're about. We are taught to be ministers of justice. We are here to prosecute aggressively if there is evidence, sufficient evidence to find the accused person guilty, we prosecute. If we find that there is insufficient evidence against an accused, then we discontinue it.
Okay.
So we do fight for both persons.
Okay. So let's not bring in Hollywood into the studio this morning. Let's leave that out.
Yes.
What are preliminary inquiries and paper committals, and what's the benefit of the committals which are now being used?
Preliminary inquiries are hearings where the evidence is called before the magistrate, and the magistrate makes a determination on whether there is sufficient evidence for the accused to stand trial. That has now been abolished.
Okay.
So we now have paper committals. With the paper committal, what happens is that the magistrate still makes a determination on the sufficiency of evidence, but there is no longer a requirement for the witness to be called to give evidence at that stage.
Okay. So that aspect of it been omitted.
Right.
Okay.
So the magistrate makes a determination based off the statements that are handed in.
Okay. So there's a review process.
Yes.
Okay.
It's-
Go ahead. Sorry.
It's more time consuming for, well, I believe in, forgive me, but I like the preliminary inquiry, but the paper committal is better to me. I like it because I got a chance to hear what the accused will say as a witness. But as I say, as a police and a prosecutor is two different hats. So then for me, the police are like preliminary inquiry. The prosecutor, then you lean towards paper committal. Because as a police, I hear what the accused says before I go upstairs. So I always, okay then, you even say that, okay then cool. The lawyer say that. Most of the time, however, that they don't really say anything downstairs. He stands straight upstairs and then they go upstairs and the bold fastball that you want to you can't see. But then it give me an idea as to what to expect upstairs. And that part is now omitted, so
I hear you.
as a police, I'm a so prosecutor now, so I have to think.
So. No, take out the quotations. Take out the quotations, buddy. We're going to take a break and we'll be back. Remember, this program is coming to you. Compliments National Bank. I must admit the conversation might be a little bit over your head, but I'm from listening to the conversation, I think the objective of this morning is just to reassure the public that the police are getting enough training so that we can prosecute properly. So if you are wondering, like I was thinking earlier, a man might be innocent and still get prosecuted, rest assured that won't happen.
It won't happen.
All right, so we're going to take a break and we'll be back right after this.
Stop standing in long ATM lines to withdraw cash. Use your national debit or black cards to complete a wide variety of transactions at supermarkets, variety stores, gas stations, pharmacies, and more. Shop online at the most popular websites and stores for quality brands using your national debit or black cards. And take back your time to enjoy all the things that you love to do. Remember, instead of waiting in long ATM lines to withdraw cash, use your National Bank cards today.
National Bank, always here.
Mommy, remember you told me if I pass all my exams, you would buy me a brand new laptop computer, a cell phone, and a PlayStation 4? Well, here are the results.
Wow, son, you did great. But where can I find all these stuff at affordable prices?
Smart Electronics, Mommy. They have stuff for the entire family. They have washing machines, cell phones, tablets, refrigerators, TVs, blenders, irons, microwave ovens, Bluetooth speakers, and much, much more. And they are located at Port Zante opposite the food court.
Wow, but son, where did you get all these information?
My friend told me, and he also told me if you buy them somewhere else, they won't last.
Is that so?
Yes, Mommy, so I don't want you to buy them anywhere else but Smart Electronics.
Okay, son, get dressed. We're going down to Smart Electronics.
No need to go to St. Martin anymore. We have everything available right here in St. Kitts. And remember, we have only one store in St. Kitts, and we are located at Port Zante opposite the food court. Smart Electronics, way to live a smart life.
It's time to scratch and match with Digicel. Collect scratch cards when you top up $20 or more at any Digicel reseller or store, or pay your phone or home and internet bill in full. Scratch and match. Get 2 or more of the same digital app and you win a prize. It's that simple. Win cash, credit, vouchers, lunches, spa dates, Digicel merchandise, and more. Plus, take the top half of your scratch card to any of our retail stores to qualify for even more prizes in the big draw. Stay tuned to our social media pages to find out how to double or even triple your chances to scratch and match. Top up or pay your bill today. Get scratching, get matching. Digicel, better together.
All right, welcome back to the program. 26 minutes, moving up to the hour of 10 o'clock. In the studio with me, I have Inspector Alwick Edwards and Miss Gordon, Greatest Gordon, if I can put it that way. And your DPP...
Crown Counsel at the DPP's office.
Okay, good. I have to make sure I take a note of that. I don't want to get that wrong again. We are entertaining your calls and your questions. We're going to take our first call for this morning. Good morning, you're live.
Good morning.
Hey, morning.
Good morning, officer and GQ.
Yes, morning.
A question I would like to know, right? That now that they're not doing the PI, and they said they're doing the paper something.
Committal.
I forget the word.
Committal.
Right? How long would someone have to stay in prison before they could get a disclosure? Because I think now that they're doing it that way, it should be easier and faster. But I would like to know how long would the lawyer or the person who is in prison supposed to stay before they could get a disclosure?
All right, thank you for your question.
Disclosure is given almost instantaneously if we have the file. If we don't have a completed file, we give what is called a partial disclosure, disclose whatever we have at the time. Once there's a request, if the person is represented, the lawyer would write to the office, and then we would then give the lawyer disclosure. If the person is unrepresented, when the person first appears in the magistrate court, then if they are unrepresented, then we would disclose to them.
Right. What about the other aspect of it now? Because she's concerned about, the process now changing. It's no longer, you're coming in court, it's now a review. How long would that process last?
Right. So it really depends on how the court schedules the matter. The court now has been setting dates for the committal bundle to be prepared by. And once the bundle is prepared and filed and served on the accused person, there is a date set for the actual hearing of the paper committal.
Okay.
So the process should be a lot shorter than the preliminary inquiry.
All right. Thanks for answering that. I think you probably answered that person's question too, because they were calling. Over to you, Inspector.
Thank you again, GQ.
Well, sorry, let me interrupt you, if that's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yes, we do have a call.
Yeah.
Good morning, you're live.
Yes, good morning, GQ, and good morning to the other persons on today with you. Let's come to the Queen, to the council in the DPP office. There are matters, right, of the same. And let's say of those matters, there's just one of the matters that would have brought to the DPP's office. But the DPP or the other workers in the DPP office know of all the other matters. Should that matter that is before the DPP be thrown out or not taken to the court because of the other matters that is of the same that didn't come to the DPP office? That's my question.
Did you understand what he?
If I understand what he's saying that one matter is before the DPP's office and the other matters were thrown out?
It's only that's what he was saying.
Okay.
I'm sorry that he hanged up, but yes, it's only that's what he was saying.
Because the other matters were thrown out doesn't automatically mean that this matter will be thrown out. The matters could have been thrown out for various reasons, whether lack of evidence or for some other reason. The matter currently before the office will have to be perused. We would have to determine whether there is sufficient evidence in order for it to proceed. So if that file before us has sufficient evidence, then it would proceed.
Okay. Let's take another call. Hi, good morning, you're live.
Yeah, GQ me again. No, what I'm saying is that the matters of the same, right? But of all those matters, there are only one matter that was brought to the DPP. Because that the other matters, the matter that was before the DPP was thrown out, not the others that wasn't brought to him, to the DPP office. The one that is to the DPP, that is at the DPP office, was thrown out because the others wasn't brought to him because they know of them too. But the one he threw, the other one is like, it doesn't make sense for me to go forward with the one that I have because the other similar matters that wasn't brought to me.
Okay.
The others that was brought him was thrown out.
All right.
You can't throw out if they're not before him.
Don't hang up. Don't hang up. Don't hang up. Hold on. Just in case. Well, I was hoping that you will stay online so we could engage your question properly because I see a question mark on your face.
Okay, what I understand him to be saying is that the one that is before the DPP was thrown out, but there are similar matters that are not before the DPP. So I do not know which matter he's speaking about.
That's what I realized. So I was
Specifically,
hoping that he would stay to engage you properly. So at least he would get his, because his question is not as simple yes or no from what I'm gathering.
Right.
Right? So it's a complicated one. And if you do call again, I will ask you to please stay on the line with us so at least Ms. Gordon can engage you properly to answer your question.
Because it could be that this matter before the DPP didn't have sufficient evidence and the others very well may. So I don't think that the person should not bring forward the other matters just because one was thrown out.
Okay. Let's go back to the line. Okay, we lost that caller. All right, Inspector, over to you.
Yes, we were talking about, before we went on break, we were talking about the course, and we ended on ethics and in professional practice. And one of the stuff them that I remembered the taught us is, well, apart from constitution and powers of rest and the portion of the Drug Act and so, but they spoke about
While you think about it, don't forget your thought.
Yeah.
Let's take this call. Hi, good morning. You're live.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, you're live. Go ahead. Yes, go ahead. All right, we seem to be having a problem there with the phone line. Let's see if it would reconnect. Just one of those mornings, ladies and gentlemen. Just one of those mornings. You're free to call back. Over to you.
Yeah, one of the stuff them that was lamented on a lot was some quotes from the DPP, and he was saying stuff like, a person convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. And he said things like, the road to hell was paved with all good intentions. What do you think about the last one, the latter?
That is true. People would always say they have good intentions, right?
All right, let's go back to the phone line. Well, we lost that call there again. You're welcome to try. You're welcome to try 465-255. Let's try this one. Hi, good morning. You're live.
Good morning. I'm back.
Yes, go ahead.
I was asking, how long you all have witnesses like records for cases in the DP office, like from 2000. I have a case there from 2014, and the victim of the case done dead, and they charged the other side who had big, and I ain't hearing nothing. But anyhow, what I really want to say is, I believe, I don't know if I'm going wrong, I don't know, but I'm saying what I believe. In them office there, who know you? They carry out you knew and did who they know. Because my child died a month before the case was to trial. And I didn't know anything about the case. My son didn't know anything about the case. But the people when he was going to the court know about the case. So I believe why you all say on paper, I don't do it. I hear you say that you're in the office for justice and peace, and up to now, my child is like a dog, and I ain't get no justice, neither from deputy office, nor nobody. So I believe why they say on paper, why they say on here is something different to what you all have on paper. Have a good day.
Obviously not a happy camper there, and no name was called, so we cannot speak to the case. So I understand your concern, though, but for it to be addressed properly, I think you would have to reach out to the office personally, and that way they can look at your case, your file case, and make a proper assessment and you have a right to your concerns, and then they can address your concerns. Am I going wrong?
Yes,
or?
that is correct.
All
If
right.
she has a concern, she can come to the office and we
Right.
will address the concern. But
Right.
I am sorry that she does feel that way.
Yeah, unfortunate.
I am too.
Unfortunate.
Unfortunately.
Good morning. You are live.
King, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Dio.
I know this ain't traffic talk, right?
No, it's not.
I have a problem across Fort Thomas Road. You have some vehicles traveling from east going to west, and sometimes people stand up in the middle of the road to tell them it's a one way, and they're ignoring people. You all have cameras and a pole on top of Maroon Avenue. Go and check those cameras and see the vehicles and some of the people them. People should be coming on radio and telling you all about these things. There are cameras put out for certain things. Go and look into those things. Because what Thomas Road is a one way and not a two way. And people learn to drive on a one way but still breaking the law.
All right,
Don't bear it now.
thank you. Thank you.
They don't tell people it's a one way and when they know it's a one way.
All right, your point has been made, Dio.
Right.
Your point has been made. Inspector, that's a case there for you
Yes,
to
I
to
will.
look-
I'll ensure
at.
that I relate to the relevant persons.
All right, cool. 465-2555, and I realized we had someone from the overseas end that was trying to get in, 718-577-2916. You can always call back. Over to you in the meantime, Inspector.
Yes, sir. Ms. Gordon, is there anything about prosecuting a case that you think people need to better understand, or any misconception you would like them to address?
Well, I already spoke about the misconception that we are out to get a conviction at any cost. Also, I think that the public should know that even though you are a victim in a case and you file a complaint with the police, you can't just come and decide that you don't want the matter to proceed. Because once a crime is committed, it's committed against the state. The DPP is the one who determines whether or not the matter will be discontinued. He will, of course, take your considerations.
Oh, your concerns.
Your concerns into consideration. But ultimately, the decision to discontinue a matter is for the DPP.
It's for the state to make.
Yes.
It's for the state to make.
Right.
Correct.
Let's go back to the line. Good morning. You are live.
Yes, thank you. Me again. I heard you have to hang up saying that the council would have liked to get something like that.
Yes, because you what you asked, she understand one part of it, but the other part of it she wasn't too clear. So go ahead.
Okay. Doctor, you want me to repeat what I was?
Yes. Go ahead, because that way she'll be more familiar.
Okay. It was a matter that I heard the DPP spoke about some time ago, maybe some few months, a month or a few months ago, right? Pertaining to a matter that was before him with a person failing to register or license their firearm, right? And he mentioned that the matter was before him, and I think he failed refused to take the matter any further. Because he said in his view there were other persons, there is only one person to him, and he don't think it was fair to the person that was brought to him or to his attention to take that person to the court, because there were other persons beside that person who failed to register or license their firearm. My question was, those other persons were not brought to the DPP yet. So then he had somebody who was there to a matter that was before him. So should he have dropped or failed to prosecute or take the matter forward because there are others of similar thing? Because they didn't come to him, shouldn't he should have dealt with the one that was before him, and then if anything go after the others that was of similar that and deal with them. That's my matter.
Go ahead.
I am aware of what you're speaking about, but I do not know all of the details surrounding the incident. What I will say is that the DPP, for whatever reason, discontinued the matter, as was within his right. The other matters were not brought before him. I do not know why, so I cannot say.
Right. But then he based his decision not to carry forth the matter that was before him because of other similar matters that he said are there, which I don't think is fair. Because there could be some other case come up with the similarities that, and then he takes that person to the court. There are other matters that behind it too. Then shouldn't he wait for those other matters? Then, since this is how he's supposed to do it, or the DPP can do things the way he wants, or he's supposed there is the law and rules that he's supposed to be guided by. Hello?
Yes.
I'm not hearing you.
Oh, she's going to answer you. She's going to answer you.
I do not think that other persons were charged with the same offense. So a person cannot be brought before the DPP unless they're charged. I do not want to comment further because I do not know personally whether or not the DPP has advised that the other person should not have been charged or whether they were planning to charge the other people. So I don't think it is fair for me to comment on that.
That's why I didn't really want to speak outright to the matter.
Okay, we understand.
I know. That's why I was saying it. That's nice. I spoke of it when I spoke of it first. I do what I said because I don't think you would have wanted to venture too far into the matter. If I more open with the question that I wanted to, I was talking about.
Well, you see, forgive me though, because I thought you was bringing a hypothetical scenario to the table, but it's not. We now realize that it's based on something that actually happened.
Right,
so
that's why I didn't want to be too open with it.
Yes, I understand now.
The way I say it, because I figured too that she, not sorry by saying she, but the lady, because of her area of work, that she might not want to be, or she may not be of what's the word?
But it's not appropriate.
Of liberty to go into stuff like that. So that's why I didn't want to be.
No, and we understand. We understand. But thank you for calling back, though.
All right.
Yes, man. Yeah, and we do understand that you understand, and that's the important aspect of it, that that you understand that it's a matter that we cannot discuss on the air, and we appreciate that you understand that. And I forgive me for pushing the matter because I really thought it was a hypothetical question you were asking, not realize it was based on something that actually took place. Let's go back to the phone line. Good morning. You're live and lively.
Good morning again.
Yes, morning.
This one goes to the police officer now.
Yeah, for the police. Go ahead.
I want to know, right? And the question in mind plenty times. How does you all select the police constables? You all don't look in the background.
Yes, ma'am.
Huh?
Yes, ma'am. There's a background investigation done on each.
From my point of view, that I am talking from my point of view. I don't believe I look in the background good enough because one of them who bang up my child, who stab up my child, right? And was to go court with every time I have to go, my child had to go court. They ain't showing up. Are you to tell me, boss, I have to go court?
Hold on a second. I understand that you are you have a grievance. It's clear that you have a grievance. But I would suggest to you to, when you get a chance, if you really do have a concern, to reach out to Inspector Edwards after the show, or if you like, you can reach out to the DPP office as well for your concerns. But I could see from where I sit and understand that you really and truly do have a concern, and I'm by no means trying to play it down, but this is not the forum or the appropriate time to have that type of discussion. This morning, our goal was just to let the public know that there was a course, and during that course, Inspector Alec Edwards was on that course, and we're just here to let you know that the officers are doing whatever they can here in St. Kitts and Nevis to reassure the public that they're making the steps to deal with cases properly as it deals with prosecution. Correct?
Correct.
All right. So I do apologize for ending your conversation and literally cutting off your conversation, but we would not entertain that going forward anymore. It's not the appropriate time and place for it. We just have about 5 more minutes. Inspector, where would you want to take the program?
I want to ask the last question and then we will close.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How important is the partnership between the DPP's office and the office of the commission, well, the police?
It's very important because they both work hand in hand. If the police does not arrest, we cannot prosecute. Also, what I think people should know is that if it is that the police arrest and the DPP advises not to arrest, the DPP can discontinue the matter. So I think if the police and the DPP's office do not work together, then there would be chaos.
Yes.
Okay. Well said.
So anything in closing, any from you in closing?
I would like to thank you all for giving me the opportunity to come to the show and let the public know what's happening with us.
And the steps that are being taken as well.
And the steps that are being taken, yes.
Thank you, Crown Council Greatest Garden. I want to thank you, GQ, for being the reliable moderator that you are. I want to again thank my guest this morning, Miss Greatest Garden from the office of the DPP. I want to thank the management and staff of ZIZ for allowing us to have this program weekly. I want to thank the callers who contributes to this show. Without their calling, this show is very pointless. I want to encourage persons who are thinking about calling and are afraid of, are glossophobic, with lack of a better terminology, to call and express their, ask questions and have dialogue and so with the police. I want to thank you all again for listening and see you guys next week.
And keep in mind, as we close out, if you really and truly have a concern, a serious concern, this is not the program for it. You know, this is just an awareness program, so that we can, let you be aware of what the Justice Office and the police are doing in the Federation. And of course, if you have insights, you know how to get in touch with them. Thanks for being a part of the program, and we'll catch you guys next week, same time, same place.
Tell me what you think about equal rights for all in every way. Say what you think, what you think, what you think, what you think about you.
Stop standing in long ATM lines to withdraw cash. Use your national debit or black cards to complete a wide variety of transactions at supermarkets, variety stores, gas stations,